are back here on the stream in the booth. My name is DJ, joining you for another Premier League cast. We will be covering Leicester City versus Manchester City in the English Premier League. It's been a bit of a hiatus for the channel because it's been a bit of a hiatus for the Premier League. We've had a lot of international matches. I have decided not to cover those. I've been a little busy with other broadcasting responsibilities, and they are definitely a little bit secondary priority for me, I would say, over the stuff like the Premier League. But the game is about to get started, so no time for some of the pleasantries. Let me scroll this down for the Man City lineup here. We will run through the lineup as we do look around. The game has begun, so I'll get you a little bit of commentary as we run through it. We look over at the side of the home team, Leicester City, here today. Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Daniel Marti, Fofana, Evans, back three, with Castagna and Albrighton going to be the wing backs today. Yuri Tillemans and Wilfred Ndidi will make up the base of midfield. Ayoze Perez given a sort of free role in the 10 today instead of his typical wing role, and Kelechi Iheanacho will partner Jamie Vardy in a two-man attack for Leicester City in this 3-5-ish 3-4-1-2, whatever you want to call it. Manchester City on the other side, we will have Ederson in goal. Benjamin Mendy gets a start at left back. Aymeric Laporte will pair with Ruben Diaz in the center of defense. Kyle Walker at right back. Fernandinho and Rodri, base of midfield. De Bruyne given the 10 role, with Gabriel Jesus actually playing sort of on the left, Mahrez on the right, and Sergio Aguero, who has been confirmed to be leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. He will be starting up top for the Sky Blues. Man City in their white kits today, away from home, going left to right on your screen if you are watching at home. Leicester City coming right to left as a bit of a break here for Iheanacho. Cuts back well. Will find Ayoze Perez. A lot of white shirts in the way. Tries to chip one into the path of Vardy. Gets the thumbs up, but does play it a little bit too hard. Ederson will come and collect that one. We should be in for a very good match. Manchester City are essentially champions-elect at this point. 8 matches to play for them. I believe they have an extra match played above everyone else on 30. So this is their 31st match today. But they are so very far ahead of second place Manchester United at the moment. It is all but assured for them at this time. Leicester City very much a part of the battle for the remaining top 4 spots, second, third, and fourth, all very much up for grabs in between about 6 teams. Leicester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham, actually, and even Tottenham will all be fighting for those 3 places remaining, as we do get the stream buffering a little bit. It's a little bit unfortunate. Actually, I probably wasn't signed in. That really sucks. Give me 1 second here. I don't quite have it on my phone, so I will have to just type my password. Shouldn't take that long. Okay, there we go. Should be coming back up. I'll maximize the screen, and hopefully we didn't miss anything too exciting. Nope, nothing quite there. Of course, do keep in mind that in the reverse fixture at Manchester City, Leicester absolutely destroyed them, scoring 7 as Manchester City were just routed in that match. That was a very, very long time ago, though. It was before Manchester City really went on their run that brought them back to the top of the Premier League table. We see a foul here as Kevin De Bruyne going to get to that challenge late against Vardy. Will commit the foul and give the free kick to Leicester. And give me 1 second. I do need to run over to my kitchen. I will put some hot water on so I can make some tea. And I'm going to bring that in just a second. Sorry about that. Tea is ready. Let me just get one thing, close my door. Sorry about that brief delay, everybody in the chat room. Why do I have... What is going on here? Oh, wow. Oh, my word. Fernandinho, what a strike here. And it's an early goal for Manchester City as I still try to figure out the extra audio source I have coming through here. We've got some conversations with the referee. There is a lot of discussion about this goal. That is what it is. Okay, so there we go. Got rid of that. It is offside against Fernandinho. The goal will not count. We'll take a look at what happened here. Kasper Schmeichel was really, really livid about the build-up to this goal. Let's take a look. Out on the left with Benjamin Mendy. Comes inside to Rodri. He clips one into the box. Partially cleared by Fofana. And what a strike from Rodri this is. I mean, 30 yards out, coming onto it. It takes a deflection on the way through. I believe off of Gabriel Jesus. Let's see here. See, it comes out. Here's the strike. Oh, no, it doesn't take a deflection. It actually just buries itself in the corner. Does it nick off someone? No, it does not. But there are claims that Aguero is influencing the goalkeeper there. He is standing about 5 yards offside, sort of in Schmeichel's path, but it seems to be enough to deem it an interference by Aguero. So the goal is chalked off after a very, very brief review, I will say. And we remain locked at 0-0. That would have been a really electric start for Manchester City, but unfortunately, they will have the goal called back. So Fernandinho not going to open the scoring. They will still be in possession as it comes back to Diaz. Now, apologies about the bit of a hectic start there, but I can't just leave a pot of water boiling for like 45 minutes. But see, we got it. Water's boiled. We got our tea ready to go. Kyle Walker. Looking back to Diaz. Over to Laporte. Into Walker. Slides one out to De Bruyne. De Bruyne fakes the cross. Beats Tielemans. Gets inside. Fernandinho. Rodri. Now Mendy. Rodri chipping one towards the back post. Mahrez forced to check his run. Does manage to collect possession. Now trying to take on Castagna. Gets it back to De Bruyne. Here's the cross. Easily headed away by Evans. Second ball is won by Tielemans. Just trying to shield this out of play. He will do so successfully. Danger will be partially cleared. Fofana now taking the throw and coming all the way over here to the left-hand side. He is on the left of the three here. Amarte on the right. Evans is the anchor, so it makes sense that he would be over here for the throw, and Castagna will knock it back to him. Fofana, of course, has exploded onto the scene here for Leicester City. They lost Kaglar Soyuncu earlier in the year to a fairly long-term injury. Maybe middle term is a better explanation of what the injury was, but nevertheless, in the time that Soyuncu was gone, Fofana really establishing himself as a first-team player, an asset to Leicester City, and now once again chock full of center defensive talent between Fofana and Soyuncu. Both those players excellent in their own right, better at different things for sure, but will likely be able to lock down the heart of Leicester's defense for years to come, particularly as Evans continues to age. We'll see what the situation that does unfold between the three of them if they continue with sort of this rotation in, back threes, back fours, whatever the case may be. But a lot of options for Leicester City once again, despite the departure of Harry Maguire a couple seasons ago to Manchester United. This attack from Leicester not going to come off. It will be sniffed out by City, but they are struggling to get out, although Mahrez has been fouled by Ndidi. And that will allow Manchester City to clear their lines. Ndidi's not happy about the call. Take a look here. Mahrez settles it down. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Mahrez settles this down pretty nicely. Ndidi actually gets a piece of the ball as it just kind of lays up for him. But his follow-through as he's coming down to the ground, he clips Mahrez on the way down. It's a little unlucky for Ndidi, honestly. Like, he's clearly trying to play the ball. I think the contact with Mahrez is entirely incidental. And probably a little unfortunate to get called for a foul there. Walker. Mahrez. Once again, good flick on by Aguero to De Bruyne. Now Mahrez. Walker. Nice exchange of passes, but better defending from Iosi Perez. Tracking back will deflect one, and now it's Castagna bursting forward. Forced to check his run by Walker. He will find a pass over to Perez. Now it's Leicester's turn to build up their attack. Evans. Oh, that's a poor touch there by Ndidi's giving that one away. Here come Manchester City. Important intervention there from Fofana as he blocks away the pass from De Bruyne that was intended for Mahrez. Had a lot of space on the right-hand side of the pitch, but no entry allowed by Wesley Fofana. Leicester have it once again. Sends it back to Schmeichel. And his pass not quite accurate enough for Albrighton. It's a throw-in to Manchester City. By the way, if you are in chat at all today, let me know if you like the, I think this is a website redesign for FOTMob. If not, maybe I just turned dark mode on. I can't really remember if I did or didn't. But if you like this more, let me know and I'll keep it. If you don't, I can go back to the, I'll find a way to go back to the whites background. But I kind of dig it. I don't know. It's new. Fancy. I don't know why I have the bar showing up here on the right side of this thing. I feel like I should be able to hide that, but whatever. Walker. Aguero. His layoff not quite accurate enough for De Bruyne. Schmeichel. Evans. Evans just going to lay it off once again. Schmeichel taking his time, not really seeing great options. Just pop back to Johnny Evans. And Manchester City seem very happy to just let Evans, the center backs, and Schmeichel play the passes in between each other. Now a little pressure will come from Aguero, and Schmeichel will be forced long. Header initially won by Rodri. Looks like it's come off Ndidi last. Will be a throw into Manchester City. Schmeichel just slowing the tempo down a little bit there. It's been a decent start to the match, I'd say, for City. Leicester have had a couple of chances to break away, but you'd always expect them to be second best in possession to Manchester City. Like we said earlier, it was a huge win for Leicester at Manchester City early on in the season, but these are two very different teams. Leicester City have certainly improved since that time, but they are facing a Manchester City that has completely transformed since the beginning of the season, going on that run from the late December period all the way through early February to climb all the way back up the table. 21 matches unbeaten, and now a chance to score here as Mahrez's cross is deflected. Nice work between Castagna and Vardy. We'll move possession out to Tielemans. He's sort of bundled over, but deemed to be a fair challenge. Piece of the ball was won by De Bruyne. Manchester City coming forward. Rodri. And now they're going backward. Good pressure by Leicester City to force the retreat from Manchester City. They will maintain possession, building up from the right flank. Walker. Pass deflected, but will just bounce into the path of Diaz. Had some exciting matches earlier on in the day. Sheffield United and Leeds finishing 2-1 in favor of Leeds, which is more goals than I probably would have expected in that match, to be honest. And of course, the 5-3 win for West Brom this morning. Who would have thunk that one would have been coming out? We're sort of joking about it the entire time we were playing pickup this morning. Of course, no way I could have predicted that game. Also, it was a 6 a.m. game, so probably not casting. We've done one 6 a.m. game. I remember we did like a double header because I needed to get one of the teams to finish my like full league table, make sure I cast a game of everyone in the league. And I needed to fill out one of my teams. I think it was West Brom, who was my second game of that doubleheader. I think it was West Brom Sheffield. Cross comes in from Mendy. Arrives at the back post for Mahrez. His touch a little bit loose. That will allow the intervention to come through from Perez, who is tracking back a lot in this match. Leicester City committed to making sure they have numbers against Man City's attack, but does leave them a little bit shorn in their own attack if they do want to counter. Have to keep an eye on Perez and see if he continues to be more defensively responsible than a normal number 10 would be. Throw in from Walker. Diaz. Rodri swings it back to Diaz. Yeah, Diaz kind of sat on the ball for quite a while there. Now comes out to Walker. He's kind of gearing up for a shot. He's going to drive one through the 6-yard box. It's deflected away by Evans. Fofana now, a bit of an awkward spot. Multiple City shirts around him. Good work by Castagna there. Dancing around the challenge from Mahrez. Gets it over to Perez. Evans back to Schmeichel. This will likely force a clearance. De Bruyne closing him down. He'll look out towards the right-hand side. Mendy can just see that one out for a throw-in. Thus far, have not seen a whole lot of Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho has been on fire. Has been on fire with his recent form. Scoring multiple goals. Playing very well, honestly, for Leicester, but we have seen him very uninvolved. He is more of a post-up striker than someone like Vardy is. Likes to receive possession, or likes to receive the ball with his back to goal when they are in possession. But when you aren't in possession, can be a little hard to be a target man, hard to get the ball into your feet. Hopefully see a little more involvement from Iheanacho to justify that selection from Rodgers later on in the match. As another ball out to the right-hand flank from Rodgers. Excuse me. From Schmeichel. Jeez. Will just dribble out of play. Here's Man City on the attack. A little bit of an aggressive challenge from Fofana. I'm not sure if he got called for a foul there. Looks like he wasn't. Just a throw in for Manchester City. I think Fofana may be frustrated that he didn't get the throw-in call. Thought it bounced off of Walker last. Excuse me, the tea's still a little hot, so I'm trying to sip it carefully. Evans going to clear this one. Diaz, the lone man back for City, will easily collect it. Swings a pass over to De Bruyne. We'll try a nice outside of the foot pass. Oh, that just runs away from Gabriel Jesus at the top of the box. Mistake. Here's Aguero. That one skied over the top of the crossbar. And Leicester, almost the makers of their own undoing, as the clearance just not very effective. Bounces off, I believe it's Aguero himself here. No, bounces off of Mahrez, who gets in the way. Aguero spots this one, tries to hit it first time on the volley, just can't quite keep it down. It is very difficult technique there, of course. If he does get it right, likely to score from that distance, but always difficult to keep it down. And Aguero cannot get the contact correct. Sky straight over Schmeichel's crossbar. We remain deadlocked here at 0-0. 19 minutes into the match. See there, Sergio Aguero set to leave at the end of the season. 10 major trophies, 4 Premier League titles with Manchester City. Likely go down in their Hall of Fame as one of the greatest serving members in Manchester City history. Walker. Mahrez. Clips this one back towards Walker. Rodri. Diaz. De Bruyne. Mendy. Back to Laporte. Now Diaz. Diaz here getting a bit of a workout with a different duo partner. He and John Stones have really taken up a nice partnership in the heart of the City defense. Has made them very, very resilient since Diaz's arrival. Has certainly changed what was seen as one of the weaknesses of Manchester City last season. Now becoming one of their strengths, but it is Laporte, former main man, and of course still very talented there in defense, to partner with him today. Nice ball in from Mendy, but De Bruyne's strike is poor. It skies and slices out to the right-hand side. Claims of a deflection here. It looks like it will be a corner to Manchester City. Take a look at this. Mendy, nice entry pass. Fernandinho is actually the one who gets this cut pass back to De Bruyne. He takes a shot that's certainly very inaccurate by his own standards. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no deflection there. I mean, not sure how that deflected off of anything. Indeed, he was coming from behind De Bruyne, so there's no way. I mean, if it was deflected, it would have been a poke from Ndidi and then off De Bruyne, I think, but maybe the camera angle just not good enough. So here is the corner kick for Manchester City. Oh, sorry, it's not a corner kick. It's actually been called for a free kick, so that's what this is. Sorry, I mean, I don't have my desktop audio on. I just roll through the games, so without the commentary, so sometimes it's hard to see what the call is. But yeah, Mike Dean, or excuse me, not Mike Dean, Kevin Friend, I believe, actually going to award. That's not Kevin Friend. Is this Mike Ashley? They're not Mike Ashley. Good Lord. Just when I think I know my Premier League referees. Is a free kick, nonetheless. I think De Bruyne might have been clipped there by Ndidi from behind, and this is a very promising position for a free kick for Kevin De Bruyne. Setting up for this one. You can see the man behind the wall for Leicester City. They don't want him to go underneath the wall. He will have to lift it. This is a great distance for him. Such a good free kick taker, De Bruyne. Can he beat Schmeichel here 22 minutes into the match? Yuri Tielemans there, the man deemed to be behind the wall. Here he is, De Bruyne. Over the wall, off the top of the bar. Ball still in play. It is headed away by Castagna. Now Jesus gets some room. A little too close to the goal line. Has to come backwards to Kyle Walker. And City are going to go all the way back. What a strike from Kevin De Bruyne. So unlucky was the Belgian on that occasion. Had Schmeichel beat, all ends up. Nothing the keeper could do but hope that it came back off his crossbar, and his prayers were answered on this occasion. Inches away from De Bruyne opening the scoring. Another brilliant free kick. We do remain level as the ball crashes back off the top of the bar. City once again building up their attack from defense. Diaz now. Laporte. Rodri. Walker. He'll swing in a deep cross. This was flashed across the 6-yard box, but the contact from Gabriel Jesus not strong enough to beat Schmeichel to go out for a goal kick. And take a look at that free kick again. Oh my, just look at the dip, the drive on this. This is knuckling beautifully. Dipping down. Oh, it's mere inches away. I actually think maybe Schmeichel has that one covered as it does arrive. But it would have been a very difficult save. Certainly noteworthy if Schmeichel had made it. Fortunately for him and Leicester, he's not forced into a save. The woodwork coming to his aid. And great free kick, but just not accurate enough from De Bruyne. But here's Manchester City again, this time through Gabriel Jesus running into the Leicester box. He's forced to cut it back. Picks out Rodri. Mahrez. Diaz out to Rodri. He'll swing one in. That one easily collected, though, by Mark Albrighton at the back post. Albrighton will drive forward. We're going to look to lay in either Iheanacho or Vardy, but his pass is deflected out of play by Mendy. Pep on his seat in the dugout looking for a little more tempo. He wants some more tempo here. That's what I think he's trying to indicate to his team. That would be an interesting segment. Try to like have like a Men in Blazers segment. If you had like, you took like a bunch of clips of like managers making hand gestures and you try to interpret what they're saying. Kind of like bad lip reads for the NFL, but like, you know, what would be a good title? Like random manager gestures or something like that. I don't know. That would be an interesting segment. Men in Blazers should explore that. That's a pretty rough tackle from Fernandinho. Indeed, he's incensed. He doesn't get the foul call. Manchester City will continue the play. De Bruyne turning in a pocket of space. Now closed down by 3. Rodri. Walker. Not seeing a whole lot of options. He'll cut it back under pressure from Perez. Mendy. Stones. Or Diaz. I'm so used to Stones. Laporte. Diaz. Manchester City just trying to swing it around, trying to find their angle. Aguero. Walker. Yeah, my stream is buffering. Buffer. All right, 3 more seconds and we'll reset it. Now we're getting a full reinitialize. Okay, and we're back. Looks like a chance was missed by Manchester City. Schmeichel asking questions of his defense. Here is that chance for Fernandinho. Nice ball right at the top of the box for Aguero. He gets a good ball to Mahrez. Lays in Gabriel Jesus, who tries to square it, but just can't get the power on it. He's reaching as he tries to cross this one square for Aguero. He can't quite get the direction or the power on it. Hints of offside in that build-up for Jesus as well. Meanwhile, on the other end, Jose Perez is going to dance away from the challenge from Fernandinho. He will be brought down. It will be a free kick to Leicester City. Both players actually down on the ground. I think maybe Fernandinho got caught by Perez's leg or knee or something as they went to ground. Take a look here. Yeah, you can see the foot right into the face for Fernandinho as Perez goes to ground. So that will not be feeling good. You give away a free kick and you get kicked in the face. Not a nice combination if you are Fernandinho. Here's Mark Albrighton. Very high line from City. Albrighton going to clip this one into the box, and the high line pays off, gives Ederson a lot of room to work. He comes out and claims that free kick. Now Mara is trying to go for a run down the line, but it's Albrighton, the free kick taker, who's able to disrupt the run, and Mars will just dribble that one out of play for another Leicester throw. 28.5 minutes in here. Still no goals. We did have one called back from Fernandinho by an offside against Sergio Aguero, but otherwise we have not seen a whole lot of action in this match. Leicester have been doing a good job of frustrating Manchester City outside of their own penalty box, trying to make it difficult. Man City have yet to find the necessary amount or quality of plays to truly break that down. Here's a chance, though. Mahrez clips one in towards De Bruyne, but it's just a little bit too high, and Schmeichel can come to claim it. It's exactly what we have been talking about, just not quite there yet. Precision on a couple of these moves from Manchester City, not quite 100% accurate. Not quite good enough to get the chance needed to open the scoring. And Leicester, for their end, look very far away from scoring. Of course, it can come very quickly when you're playing on the counter-attack. Jamie Vardy, just an assassin at that style of play, partnered with Iheanacho today, but they've looked very uninvolved in the match, unable to receive possession, and yes, things like that generally not coming off as the ball goes just a yard over Vardy's head. Now Manchester City claim it once again. There's Walker gliding out of a challenge. I say gliding, more like bundling through a couple of tackles. Laporte. Walker. Mahrez. Mahrez has it poked off him. That's good defending by Castagna. He's kept the ball in play. Leicester now with it through Ndidi. Ndidi will lay it back to Amarte. Fofana. Castagna back to Fofana. Tielemans. Amarte. Good work by Ndidi to get it out to Castagna. You can see 70% possession for City so far in this game. Just 30 for Leicester, but they're adding to it here. A nice build-up from Leicester in general. Taking a lot of territory already. Now looking for the killer pass from Tielemans. It'll get to Perez. He's now faced up by Mendy. Looks for Tielemans. That one intercepted. City now, the ones trying to play out from the back, and De Bruyne just going to get taken down by Wilfred Ndidi. That is an easy yellow card for the referee, and Wilfred Ndidi will be the first player cautioned today. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's fully cynical from him, but definitely late to the challenge. He knows that he will have to take De Bruyne down there if he does get beat. So De Bruyne gets taken down. It is a free kick and a yellow card to Wilfred Ndidi, who will now be up against it. And we saw what red cards can do to the structure of a team. Thiago Silva gets one earlier on in the Chelsea match in the 29th minute. And from then on, Chelsea just cannot defend West Brom. They get absolutely taken apart. 5 goals put past them by what is, in my opinion, the, well, second worst team in the league. Sheffield are in a rough spot, I would say. Up a creek without a talented player in sight and without a good manager after they fired Chris Wilder. And if that doesn't give it away to you, chat, I don't think that Sheffield should have fired Chris Wilder at all. I think that was a mistake. Mendy clearing this one up the line. It's collected by Jesus. Tries to spin around Amarte. It's poked off him for a throw-in. Ooh. The burps. I'm going to need to eat something at halftime probably. I haven't really eaten something since like 7:30. I get hungry very often. Diaz will stroke a pass out to Mahrez. He's going to be forced backwards. Walker looking for a crossfield switch. He arrives at Mendy, who heads this one straight into the box. Clearance from Amarte is a bit scuffed. Jesus brings it down to the box. Toe poke there is blocked away. And despite making a little bit of a mess of things, Leicester do just enough to quell the danger. There's Walker now. Cuts it back. Diaz over to Laporte. Laporte's pass is blocked away. Another throw-in. 34 minutes now on the clock. 11 remaining in the half. And this half honestly feels like it has crawled by. The pace of play just not very high. It's basically City just trying to explore their way through Leicester City's dogged defense here. And it has been very, very solid from them. They have kept City mostly at bay. But of course, sometimes against this City squad, it is only a matter of time before they find the breakdown, before they find the breakthrough. They continue to work towards it down this right-hand flank. De Bruyne looking for the reverse pass to Mahrez. It will not connect. Now Evans Castagna clears this one away. Flicked header is to no one in particular. Again, Leicester not with a whole lot of bodies up the field. City will collect and they'll come once again. That one not quite going to connect with Rodri. This will be a throw to Leicester. I think Brendan Rodgers will be mostly happy with how his side have performed in this first half. He'll likely have asked them to be defensively solid, to be responsible, and try to work City, tire them out, see if they can find openings. I wouldn't call it full parking the bus here, but Rodgers is certainly playing it safe in the first half. I think trying to probe for openings, look for counterattacks, and we'll see if they do make adjustments throughout the match. But tend to give Brendan Rodgers the benefit of the doubt. I do think he is an intelligent manager who knows how to make tweaks throughout the game to get what you want out of the squad. Currently, what I think he wants right now is solidity. So I think he is getting that. Pep will probably be the more disappointed, going to want more tempo. We've seen the hand emotions throughout the half coming out. He's going to want a little bit more out of Manchester City to break down this packed defense. It's something they face quite often with how much possession they do have. They always have to play against typically full 10 players behind the ball, making it hard for them to exploit space. But when they are on their game, they are masters at breaking these kind of teams down. But here might be a breakdown for City. Nope, not quite going to come off, as Leicester City were breaking forward. Ndidi looked for the run of Iheanacho, but it was well defended by Aymeric Laporte. Forced Iheanacho to drag him back pretty obviously, I would say. And that just triggers a foul call from the referee. Yeah, I mean, full swing, arms around the shoulder there, trying to drag Laporte back. It's about the easiest call that the center ref will ever have to make. And the attack does break down here for Leicester. That'll be a bit disappointing, I think, to Brendan Rodgers. Those are the kind of chances that when you are playing this style, you really need to make more effective. Can't be wasting your second or third pass as you try to get into City's defensive areas. Now here's Laporte going on a bit of an adventurous run for a center back. The return pass from Mendy will not connect. Now there is a center back down for Manchester City, but very few blue shirts up the field for Perez. He'll force back to Castagna. Perez again, cutting it. Ndidi comes forward. Castagna. Ndidi over to Tielemans. His pass is loose, picked off by Fernandinho. Tielemans went in for a sliding challenge, and now there are numbers here, but the pass a little bit too early for Gabriel Jesus. And Daniel Amarte can easily run back, take that one away. Danger has passed for Leicester. Walker. De Bruyne. Trying to play in Mendy. That's a little bit of a short pass from De Bruyne. Mendy gets a cross away, but it actually went out of play and came back in. So will be a goal kick to Leicester. So we broach into the 39th minute of play. Just 7 minutes remaining here. Plus stoppage time, which shouldn't be a whole lot. We have had very few stoppages in this half. Both teams pretty clear what they want to do. And yeah, not much more to be said. Schmeichel. Gonna look long over the top. That one headed down. Clearance helps it along for Manchester City. Just looking to sort of pin, I think, Leicester in their half. See if they can get something through pressing. And here is that potential thing as De Bruyne has won it back. He's gotten it to Aguero. Nice ball into the box from Mahrez, who's tripped in the box, but no interest from the referee. Waves play on. Castagna will complete the clearance. Now Manchester City have possession once again. Leicester just cannot seem to get on the ball for more than one or two passes. A bit of a loose pass there from Walker, but it bounces right back to him off of Perez's foot. He'll switch play over to Mendy. Rodri. Mendy. That's good stuff by Albrighton. Takes that one right away from Mendy as he arrives at the ball. And Ndidi, Mendy, or Albrighton. That one comes off of Rodri for a Leicester throw. And another couple of minutes killed off here by Leicester City. Now approaching the 41st minute. As you can see there, James Maddison just getting a break today on the bench. Was likely in the England setup for the last couple of weeks. Maybe just not deemed to be at full fitness or just deserving of a break for Brendan Rodgers. Again, the title race, or excuse me, the race for, you can see it there, 0 shot attempts for Leicester. Yeah, rough. Race for top 4 still very much on for Leicester City. They will have to take as many points as they can get, but getting a point against Manchester City at this point in the season would be great for Rodgers. I'm sure he'd be very, very happy with that. Can try to rest his players for maybe what he considers more winnable or must-win matches as they continue to fight for those top 4 places. Because at this point, again, nobody's catching Manchester City for this title. Might tune into the stream, the actual audio of the stream at one point to hear what the announcers say, because can't be too much longer now. Oh boy, here's Mahrez with the shot. It's blocked by Schmeichel. Nice kick save out to his right-hand side. And the biggest chance of the game falls to Riyad Mahrez. He cannot convert. Ball still in a dangerous area at the top of the Leicester box. Rodri. De Bruyne. He's going to have a strike, and it's just wide. Big opportunity here for Manchester City. See the second strike here is replay of De Bruyne's. Yeah, it's some nice curl on it, but I think Schmeichel's got it covered the entire way. He sees the curve, the swerve of that ball. He knows it's going to be a little bit wide, just about a yard, but here is that last chance. Throw-in comes in. That is a lovely backheel flick from Gabriel Jesus into the path of both Aguero and Mahrez. Mahrez is the player who ends up taking it on, but just enough done, I believe, by Amarte to cut the angle to the back post. It forces a strike at the sort of middle of the goal from Riyad Mahrez, and that allows Schmeichel to get his right leg out, kick that one away, keep the scores level at 0-0. Here's Iheanacho at the other end. That one going to roll off a Manchester City player for a throw. Castagna, the one stepping up. 3 minutes remaining here as Castagna tries to get a cross in. Kyle Walker will block that one away and then gesture to the referee that maybe the throw-in from Castagna was not legal. Not sure why that's even worth arguing about. Throw-ins just don't matter. Very, very rarely. I think it's fine to have guidelines for you can't one hand chuck the ball right or something like that, but referees so rarely enforce throw-in, following strict throw-in, both hands behind your head, no leg raise, this and that. They so rarely enforce it because, again, it just doesn't matter. Here's Manchester City slicing in behind. Gabriel Jesus, not with a lot of support, gets it back on his right foot. He wants to take the strike, and it's just wide over the top of the bar. Gabriel Jesus leaning back away from goal there, and it does make it a difficult strike. See how far away this one was on the replay. He's taking on Evans. He does get about that half yard of space that he wants to have this hit. Oh, that is not far away from that top right corner, I think. Maybe a better angle here. Yeah, it's a couple yards high and wide, but from the angle he's shooting at, falling away from goal, that's a pretty good strike from Jesus, and I think Schmeichel will be a little relieved that that one goes decently wide of his left-hand post, because there would have been absolutely nothing he could have done about it. Here is Diaz. Mendy. Laporte. Over to Diaz. Walker. Laporte. Diaz, Fernandinho. Walker. Trying to escape the attentions of Castagna here. It was not easy. Castagna was really giving him a hard time. A couple of intricate passes played around, but they cannot quite get through the Leicester defense here, Manchester City. And now Leicester coming away with it through Castagna. Perez, harassed by Walker, will be forced backwards. Header away from Laporte as we have reached the end of regulation here in the first half. 1 minute of stoppage time, and Leicester might have a good chance. Breaking through is Jamie Vardy. He's rounded the goalkeeper, and Jamie Vardy has put Leicester in the lead, but the flag has gone up. Offside is Jamie Vardy. So call it all honors even here at the break. Each side now with a goal denied to them for an offside call. And yep, you can see Vardy clearly about a half-yard offside the line, doing its job for Manchester City. Mendy, the responsible party at the backside of that line. And it will remain all square here as the halftime whistle is blown. Teams go into the break with no goals between them. One taken away from Fernandinho for offside, one taken away from Jamie Vardy, both righteously so. And we arrive still all even at the break. Can one of these teams find a breakthrough in the second half? We will have to stick around to find out. All right, that'll do it for the first half. And what a boring first half it was, ladies and gentlemen. That was, that was a Premier League first half for sure. And just I ran Rodgers is set up to keep it contained, make sure they don't get routed here, because again, Rodgers will be very happy with a draw at this point in the season, probably against Manchester City. If we look at the table here, IPL standings, Leicester is sitting in third on 57 points. They're tied with Man U. That's at the moment, so they're technically on 56 if they lose. They came into the day at 56. They're 5 points ahead of Chelsea at 51. They're 7 ahead of West Ham in 5th at 49. They're really just interested in making sure they get points in matches that they have to go. And if we take a look at their schedule too, you can see, let's see. So they got Man City, West Ham, Southampton. 3 pretty tough matches. West Ham, of course, in that running for Champions League, although I would expect them to drop off. Then they got West Brom, Crystal Palace. Or the Southampton game's the FA Cup. So they got West Brom, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. Those are 3 super winnable games. So you're really, I think if you're Rodgers at this point with the FA Cup still to play, the semifinals against Southampton, you're just trying to keep your squad fresh. You try to take points from West Brom, Crystal Palace, and Newcastle, because it really doesn't matter if you finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It would feel nice for sure to finish in those places, but I think realistically, it just doesn't matter for Rodgers, right? Your ideal would be for Leicester is you qualify for Champions League and you win the FA Cup would probably be what I expect. They're out of Champions League. I think they're out of Europa League. I don't think they have anything left to play for there. So, so why not play safe against Man City, right? If you can take a point out of this match at home, you're 58. You're 1 closer to winning. You've got 3 matches in your next 8. 8 more matches. They're easily winnable. That's 9 points. That makes it really hard for the opposition to catch you. So I think that's probably your focus, and I think that's probably why we see following international break, Maddison on the bench, different formation, play fairly defensively, and just hope that you can kind of catch City on the break. It's not like a full park the bus, I would say. He is playing 2 strikers, But both of them are helping out defensively, and it's mostly like, let's just keep City at bay and see if we can get a point. Worst case and best case, we sneak 3. So that seems to be the approach. So unfortunately, I expect a lot more of the same in the second half, unless City can score an early goal. If City score an early goal, Leicester will be forced to chase, I think. And Rodgers is the kind of manager that would make aggressive substitutions to try to chase the point, because, who cares? Like, you're not City, like, you don't care about goal differential. Like, you're not anywhere near goal differential for everyone else, I think. Let's see, goal differential. Yeah, you're at 21. They're way ahead of Chelsea. They're way ahead of West Ham. They're way ahead of everyone. Like, the nearest person to them is Tottenham. They're 2 behind. Goal differential, you just shouldn't care. It just shouldn't matter. So, unlucky. But hopefully we can add some energy through the cast to the second half or something like that. We'll try to make it exciting, and hopefully we do get a goal and the game does open up a bit. But that is that's really the main reason that we see what we see in this first half. So fingers crossed for more in the second half. With that, though, I'm going to grab a snack really quick. I'll be right back. Probably just a minute or two. I'm not going to take like the full halftime break that I usually do. I just want to grab something a little bit to eat here, because my stomach is letting me know. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. Got myself some hummus, got myself a nanner, and we are good to go. Okay, so hopefully what we'll get here are the highlights between Leeds, Sheffield, and West Brom. I would love to see the West Brom highlights, so I will happily walk through those with you guys, because that's a lot of goals for West Brom. That's a lot of goals. They are usually not scoring that much. We were just having a conversation on our league podcast that, like, yo, what's up? What's up, Bruno? Welcome back. Yeah, no worries, man. I think, am I gonna cast Man U tomorrow? Let me see. We're playing someone decent, if I remember. Looking at my fantasy matchups. How you been, man? I know I've been away for a while because we haven't had Premier League, so I've been doing a lot of League of Legends casting during my free time. Let's see who we play tomorrow. We've got Brighton. Okay, they're like decent, but I mean, that is the best game of the day tomorrow for sure. I mean, Southampton, Burnley, Newcastle, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Fulham, and Man U, Brighton. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, no, man, no worries at all. Yeah, no, no. I mean, you guys do you. You know, if you guys are enjoying the stream, that's great. And if not, go watch soccer. We're all just big soccer fans here, so that's what we want to support. Yeah, sit away from the mic so you guys don't have to hear my chewing. I do think I am gonna try to pump up my streaming soon. I need to like get my calendar set with my like League of Legends streaming and my work. I have like work schedule done. Like I know that. I need to get my other casting schedule done. And I think I'll probably start streaming more soccer and probably more video games too. I'll probably start streaming like some Valheim and League when I play. I might even start streaming my Legends of Runeterra games because I'm getting pretty good at Legends of Runeterra. I'm getting close to platinum, and once I get into platinum, we'll start playing like good players. So that'll be interesting. Arsenal do play today. That will be a good game today. I'm excited about the Arsenal game. I'm gonna watch it, but I cannot cast it unfortunately because I have a meeting at 3 o'clock. So I need to listen to the meeting basically. I'm not gonna talk that much during the meeting, but basically like I can't be like casting and then like have to talk, but I can be like watching the game on a second screen, you know? So that's kind of why I picked this game. Yeah, it's always interesting to watch Arsenal because they can either like they're kind of hit or miss. They can either like give you a really good show or like I think they'll give you a good show more often than not because like they'll play pretty open. So see a lot of goals either for them or the opponents. It's usually pretty good for streaming. Like a pretty good game for neutrals. And definitely against Liverpool. That would be super fun. My mom's dapping me up right now. She's eating lunch with my cousin in South Carolina, so they're like chatting. They're like chatting to me. I don't know. They might be in the stream actually. I don't know if they're watching right now. They're probably not because they're at lunch. But I know she mentioned she saw I was live. She's telling me that my cousin might be interested in moving to. I live in Chicago right now, and she's telling me my cousin might be interested in moving to Chicago later on, which will be interesting because I'm in Chicago right now, and I like Chicago a lot. But I might actually move in a couple years, depending on how things play out. So we'll see if I'm actually still here. I'm still like tied to the city for at least another year. I got like a really good friend of mine in med school, and I think like being around him is like good for it's like fun for me. I love hanging out with him. Maybe he just joined. We have 4 viewers now. Nolan, are you there? How was your test this week if you're there? If not, hope you're having a good day. But yeah, so I have a friend in med school, so wanna stick around for that. Hoping I can start dating a girl in Chicago. She's trying to get residency in Chicago, so if we are dating and she has a residency in Chicago, then like obviously I'm staying here. But if none of those, you know, if Nolan finishes med school and moves, and then I'm not dating this girl, you know, not as much tying me to the city. If I'm working remote, you know, if I have a decent job and I'm working office, then could be whatever. But honestly, I don't really ever want to work in an office again. Like, working from home is just so vastly superior to me to working in an office. I just miss so little about office life. Like, people are like, oh, like, you're with your team, and you're like, okay, like, I can hang out with my team online, or if they want to like hang out and they're in the city, like, let's just go to a bar after work, and then we can like actually hang out instead of like, work talk kind of, because like you can never actually say what you want to in the office, right? You can never like fully be yourself in the office because like your bosses are always watching you, and if like your bosses are not like, some bosses are going to be fine, some bosses aren't, so it just like it feels kind of whatever to me, like work talk and like water cooler stuff. Like, I would just rather hang out with them outside of work and we can just all be ourselves, right? And then like if they don't want to hang out with me because they don't like my personality or not, then like, okay, great. Like, that's like us, it's not like work us. So I don't miss that at all. And then I don't miss paying for lunch because I don't miss packing or paying for lunch, right? I can just get whatever I want here. I always have food. The only thing that I miss about like commuting to the city is that it makes it a lot easier to commit to a gym schedule, because I don't have a gym in my apartment. It's like a very small apartment, and there's not really one like super nearby that I go to. What's wrong with Score Live? Oh, what's wrong with FOTMob? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. Let me actually check. So do you like this? Tell me, do you like this better or worse? Is this better or worse than the white? Because I logged in today and it was just like, it was just like dark mode or something. So I don't know if I accidentally clicked dark mode or if this, wow, we never went through the West Brom highlights. I'm kind of sad about that. I don't know if this is a dark mode or if this is, oh, we're probably talking about something else. What is Score Live? It repeats adverts. Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. Like on another stream. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. I thought it was the FOTMob thing. Okay, I'm still gonna have to explore the FOTMob thing. Do you like Bruno? Do you like the sort of dark background, or did you like the white background more? Maybe you don't care. Maybe it doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter, but I figure I might as well ask. All right, we are about to restart the second half here. Drag this boy down. Hopefully we get a little, again, fingers crossed, we get a little more action in this second half, because we did not get a whole lot in the first. Yeah, IDC. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. All right, here we go. We are underway. Diaz. Moving this one over to Rodri. A little bit of early pressure coming out from Leicester City. Iheanacho charges down Ederson, forces him into a clearance. De Bruyne will nod the header down for Mendy. Manchester City stay in possession again. Close to 70% possession for Manchester City in the first half. Super dominant display of possession, but don't have a whole lot to show for it. They definitely had the better of the chances in that first half. Long ball from Fernandinho headed down by Fofana. Izzy Perez will pick it up, looking back for Castagna. He's chased back to Schmeichel, who will be forced into a clearance. Instead goes short to Amarte. Albrighton. Worked this pretty nicely, Leicester City, and it looks like Ndidi will be fouled by Fernandinho, so it's actually Iheanacho, excuse me. Nice stuff from them to get out of that right-hand flank under a lot of pressure. Here's Evans. Evans going to look long. He kind of flubbed that clearance. It goes straight into the path of Rodri. Rodri to De Bruyne. Doesn't see Albrighton coming from behind him, but does manage to hold on to possession. Jesus crossing to the back post. Header flicked away. Perez there to pick up the second ball. That's a poor clearance from Castagna. Apologizes to Perez as it goes out of play. Aguero. Now Mahrez. Claims of offside. Mahrez doing pretty well to get to the baseline, but better defending from Fofana. Gets his body in the way. Takes the ball away. Now will complete the clearance. Nice layout from Vardy. Here comes Perez. Closed down by 2 or 3 City players. His pass is loose. It's given away. Top of the box here, De Bruyne. Poked away by Ndidi. Jesus. Aguero goes down in the box, but no interest from the referee. And can't say I disagree with him. Didn't look like a whole lot. No complaints from Aguero either. So that mistake from Perez will go unpunished. Like the idea from Jesus trying to pick out the onrushing Aguero, but Leicester were quick to close him down. Leicester, rare occasion at the other end. A little bit of space for Tielemans. He'll have a strike. In the end, an easy save for Ederson. But it is Leicester's first shot of the match. So their first shot is their first shot on target. But it is just pretty easy, routine stuff here for Ederson. I love how we get 3 replays of that because there's nothing else happening in this match from NBC. Nice long pass to Gabriel Jesus. He'll bring it down on the chest. Laporte. Diaz. De Bruyne. Mendy. Mendy cuts inside. Albrighton overcommitted. Mendy inside the box. Squares it. Blocked away by Fofana. De Bruyne picks up the loose ball. Just so many bodies for Leicester City in the box. Mendy was looking for anything, any sort of angle to get a good cross in, but there's just not enough room. Mahrez now hounded by 2 Leicester City players. He will draw a free kick for Manchester City. Not in a very dangerous area. I imagine they'll just take this one short and we'll reset play. Taking their time, maybe setting up for a free kick. Can't imagine Manchester City of all squads being really solid on these set pieces, but they will go for it. So setting the center backs up, it will be Mahrez standing over this. Laporte, Rodri at the back post. Here is Mahrez, steps over it, De Bruyne, clipping this one in. What a ball from De Bruyne, comes all the way through, and Rodri not ready for the ball to arrive. It bounces off his chest and rolls out of play for a goal kick. Man, look at this delivery from De Bruyne. That is just beautiful stuff. Skimming the top of the heads, both the attacking and defending players. It comes all the way through the 6-yard box, and you can see Rodri just doesn't think it's going to arrive at his foot. He's not ready for it. It bounces right off his body and out of play. Certainly would have been a difficult finish, but the holding mid there not really in the mindset or the body shape to be ready to finish that cross. And what a cross it was from De Bruyne. It's already had a couple of good ones, but now Fernandinho's been stripped of possession. Iheanacho, no support. He'll take on one, trying to hold on to the ball. He gets it over to Tielemans. The shot deflects out of play. That was very, very close for Manchester City. And only the intervention from Ruben Diaz stops Iheanacho from opening the scoring. Yeah, it's lovely stuff from Iheanacho. He does all the work himself. Strips Fernandinho of possession. He doesn't have any support. Holds onto it for long enough for Tielemans to get up and join him. The layoff is perfectly weighted as well. Tielemans can just come onto this, hit it first time. But it is Ruben Diaz, the man who has added so much to the heart of City's defense, that has managed to get in the way of that one, knock it away for a corner kick. The first of the match between either of these teams. And it is easily headed away by Manchester City, who now may find themselves on the counter, but not if Mark Albrighton has anything to say about it. 30-yard sprint from him. He's able to pick it up, and now Leicester City try to counter-attack, but Vardy can't control his first touch. It'll break down, and Manchester City should just settle down the match once again. Laporte. All the way over to Rodri. Fernandinho. Nice Nice ball from Fernandinho into Aguero. Plays it back to De Bruyne. Clips one over to the right-hand side. Walker swings it in. Headed away by Evans. Bouncing ball here is a little tricky for Diaz. He gets it to De Bruyne, who just hoofs this all the way back to Ederson, making absolutely sure City will retain possession. Rodri. De Bruyne. He'll lay one back. Under pressure there from Albrighton. City taking their time with the build up to this attack. 54th minute of play. Nice ball over the top here from Ruben Diaz. Has picked out the run of Walker. He tries to get a cross away. It's bouncing, but Schmeichel, sure hands there from the Leicester keeper. He will pounce onto that one and will clear the danger away. Albrighton caught in possession just a little bit by De Bruyne, but does manage to hold on to it. His clearance is blocked. He'll go out for a throw, and yeah, we're still slogging through it here, trying to find the breakthrough. Our Manchester City unable to do so just yet. Amarte. Oh, that's a giveaway. Marte gives this one. Riding into the box is Rodri. Lays it for Jesus. Good tackle from Wilfred Ndidi. Gets the poke in. Gets the ball cleanly. Breaks up the chance for Manchester City. Now a free kick's been called, I believe, against Manchester City. Yeah, Fofana looks like he got stepped on there. There's a ball in behind for Vardy. He is onside. No, he is not. Vardy is offside once again. The ball will come back here for Manchester City. Been a rough afternoon for the Leicester strikers. Again, they have not been set up for success by the tactics of their side. But really, Vardy and Iheanacho have barely had a touch between them. Iheanacho really just having that one good run where he did strip Fernandinho of possession. But Vardy has been even more starved than that. I think 5 or 6 touches at best this entire match. De Bruyne wants to clip one over the top. This looks well read by Evans, but the ball is perfect. Jesus' touch is perfect. Cross to the back post. Here's Aguero! His shot is blocked at the back post by Castagna. That was beautiful build-up play from Manchester City. I mean, look at how inch perfect this is. Evans has a read on this ball from De Bruyne, but it's just so perfect that he can't get there before Gabriel Jesus, who takes a good first touch, gets a good cross to the back post. Aguero makes good contact on this volley, but Castagna gets in the way, gets a leg to block that ball behind for City's first corner of the match. Mahrez from the far corner, headed away by Evans. Commanding stuff there from the Leicester City captain, and the ball back in from De Bruyne is surprisingly disappointing. Will go out for a goal kick to Leicester. Now just a throw in on the far side for Leicester. The clearance turning into another throw in. We've seen so many in this game, all we see for excuse me, breaks of play. Oh yeah. Now here's Mendy. Laporte. Will City find an answer? That is the big question on anyone's mind watching this match. Otherwise, we are going 0-0 to the deadlock. That's a nice ball into the pocket for Aguero. His pass intended for, I believe that is Rodri, does not arrive. The second ball after the clearance does arrive at Rodri's feet. De Bruyne. Nice ball in behind. Mahrez with a chance here. The strike straight at Schmeichel. He punches that one away only as far as Rodri. Cross to the back post. Mendy. Right-footed strike, and he's done it. It's Benjamin Mendy on for the injured Alexander Zinchenko. He has given Manchester City the lead in the 59th minute of play. And an unlikely hero strikes for Manchester City. Benjamin Mendy, starting for the first time in nearly 6 weeks, finds himself inside the box on the end of a Rodri cross, makes a nice cutback, and finishes sweetly with his right foot into the bottom right corner. Look at it here. Jesus gets blocked as he tries to take his strike, but Albrighton, it's a little too zealous chasing down Mendy. He cuts it around Albrighton, gets it onto his right foot, and the finish is just so smart from Benjamin Mendy. It's taken quickly, it's aimed perfectly into the bottom right corner, and I think Schmeichel's vision may be impaired a bit by Yuri Tielemans as well. Beautiful stuff from Benjamin Mendy. He picks up the goal and gives Manchester City the breakthrough that they have been scraping and clawing for throughout this match. Now Leicester City trailing by a 0-0. The game plan has largely gone for them, looking to keep Manchester City at bay. Now they will have to do that while looking for an equalizing goal, or they will lose this game, remain on 56 points, and still remain in a very hotly contested race for the top 4 here in the English Premier League. Champions League places so very valuable to these clubs at the upper end of the table. So far, there has not been an adjustment from Brendan Rodgers, but we are about to hit the 60-minute mark when a lot of these changes are made. I would expect to see James Maddison come onto the pitch, maybe a slight formation change as well, as Leicester will likely have to chase this equalizing goal. It shouldn't really matter whether you lose this game 3-0 or 1-0. Goal differential is something that is sometimes on the mind of managers, but it's just so small compared to getting results. And if you can sneak a goal away from City, you'll still come away with the point that you came here today to get. That will raise you to 57 and just make qualification for the Champions League all the closer. Ball bouncing around the heads at the moment. It's Tielemans settling it down. He played back to Johnny Evans. He'll slide one out to the left-hand side. It's Perez. Evans. Amarte. Evans again. Leicester just moving it back and forth between the 3 center backs. Fofana, nice ball into Tielemans. Nacho checks short. Instead it goes wide to Amarte. Now Albrighton. Looking for a way through here are Leicester, but largely marshaled by City in their defensive shape at the moment. It's an inviting ball for Castagna. Mahrez trying to close him down. The cross does come in. It goes over the head of Vardy and cleared out to touch by Fernandinho's head. The first change of the match is about to be made. It's actually Manchester City who will get the ball rolling, and Sergio Aguero, the man who will depart Manchester City in the summer, will be withdrawn for Raheem Sterling. Decent 62-minute shift here for Aguero. Guardiola will change things up just a bit, maybe get a fresh pair of legs onto the pitch. Evans all the way back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel clips one out towards, I believe, Fofana. Nicely done there from Fofana to escape the attentions of, I believe, probably Mahrez out there. Nope, it's Jesus. Sorry, the yellow cleats are Jesus. Got to remember that. Now Leicester is sort of in a holding pattern, just playing it back and forth between the center backs. Now to Schmeichel. They get it into Ndidi. There's a nice ball from Fofana. Perez can turn, looks for the killer pass into the path of Jamie Vardy, but it's well read by Aymeric Laporte. He will knock that one back to Ederson, who clears away. Battle for the second ball here. Flicked by Rodri, eventually settled by Walker. His clearance bouncing around as Castagna gets in the way, but City have managed to settle it. Now they'll look in behind, but Fofana will get there before Jesus. Amarte. Ndidi. It's a bit of a short pass from Ndidi, but Fofana and he make it work. Perez. Nice turn by Perez. Good ball in behind as well. It's Iheanacho dashing onto this. His cross is poor. Gets underneath the ball and floats it over and behind the goal. It's a goal kick to Manchester City, and that is a disappointing outcome for what is one of the very few promising attacks that Leicester have had all afternoon. Rodgers now in discussion with his assistants, trying to figure out what they can do to try to impact this match again. I expect Maddison fairly shortly, sometime within the next 5 to 6 minutes. But what to do after that? Do you change the shape? Do you change your approach just a little bit? Do you come out of your shell as Leicester City, who have defended so staunchly for 59 minutes before that breakthrough from Benjamin Mendy? And what a source for a breakthrough. Of all the players on the pitch, is likely just the center backs and maybe Rodri, who you would have expected less to have that opening goal. Up for debate with Walker, to be fair. Much less the attacking right back that Joao Cancelo is. Foul committed by Rodri over on the far side of the pitch. Nothing more than a simple foul. Leicester will get us started fairly shortly. Ndidi. Amarte. Tielemans turning away. That's a foul by Fernandinho. A little bit overzealous there, I think, is Fernandinho. Wants to pressure Tielemans, but and there's a little bit of extras there as Fernandinho literally grabs Tielemans as he's trying to take the free kick to slow it down. And I mean, you know, the dark side of the game, i.e. the dark arts, I guess is what they're called. Albrighton. Amarte. Back to Schmeichel. He's going to lay one out to the far side. Now driving forward here is Fofana. Nice pass into the feet of Iheanacho, but he cannot turn effectively. Taken away from him by a couple of City players. Here's Sterling with his first involvement. De Bruyne. Oh, that's a... I think De Bruyne and Sterling on two different pages there. De Bruyne wanted the run from Sterling. Sterling thought De Bruyne would take it on himself. Now clearance goes over the top. Claims of offsides by Amarte as he goes up against Sterling. That should be a Leicester throw-in if Sterling is onside. If he's not, this will be a free kick. Looks like it's just the throw-in. And here do come the changes. We see Ricardo Pereira and James Maddison being prepared by Brendan Rodgers. Are likely to be introduced in the next minute or so. My guess is that Pereira will come in for Mark Albright, and they might shift to a back four, send a little bit more of their attack up the field. If that is the case, I imagine maybe Iheanacho will come off for Madison. He'll go into the number 10, and Iosi Perez will go wide. That's just a theory, though. Here is Leicester City trying to come forward. Iheanacho a little bit slow on this play. He'll have that one taken away. Attack breaks down, and now City the other way. There are 4 Leicester shirts behind the play now. Comes over to Rodri, has the space to play in Mahrez. Instead goes back to De Bruyne, tries the quick pass into Sterling. That was the right idea, but again, there is a body in the way. This time it is Amarte breaking up a clever pass from Kevin De Bruyne. Here's Johnny Evans looking long. Header comes down. Iosi Perez will pick up the second ball, but he is crowded out by Diaz and Rodri. Ball will bounce kindly into the hands of Ederson. And now the clock starts to become an issue for Leicester City, trailing by a goal to nil. Just about to tick over to the 70th minute here. 20 do remain for Leicester City. They are about to make those changes. Will look to be a little more aggressive with their style. They have not looked much like scoring this afternoon, and it will be a tall task to break down a very strong City defensive line. Who would have thought we'd be saying that a year on from this time? And that was the big weakness, taking City out of their title challenge against Liverpool. Here's Laporte. Laporte again. Back to Diaz. Manchester City very happy to take their time now in their build-up play. They're no longer searching for that winning goal, the opener. They have it. They can just play their normal style, kill time off the clock, try to build up their attacks. The onus is on Leicester City to make things happen, as Tielemans is actually going to be called for a foul here for, I guess, obstructing the challenge from Mendy. I think that was probably a little unfortunate. I think he was probably fine there. All right, and the changes will come through for Leicester City now in the 71st minute. It is Albrighton off for Ricardo Pereira. 1 for 2. So on comes the right back, Ricardo Pereira. And it is 2 for 2, baby. James Maddison comes on for Kelechi Iheanacho. We will likely see a formation change. Iosi Perez will go wide. James Maddison will take up his typical number 10 role in behind a solo striker in Jamie Vardy. Back to the typical shape for Leicester City as they do chase this game in the final 19 minutes here. And I feel good about getting those substitution predictions right. Once again, I will say that getting sub predictions right is not the hardest thing in the business. You know, if you see a player having a bad game, particularly if you see a player just kind of outright having a bad game, it's pretty easy to figure out that they're going to get subbed. Can be a little harder when there's not a lot happening, or there's a lot happening and you're just not sure who's going to get subbed. Come on, here is no, just Castagna just going to be chased out of play. Good defending by Walker. It'll be a goal kick to City. It's just it's like a little cherry on top of like ice cream, right? Because again, you can sort of predict based on the way the game's going, based on how things are working, what the manager generally wants to do, and that's sort of where the predictions come from. You think, okay, so we see Pereira being readied, right? Or like even if you don't see Pereira being ready, you think, what change do you want to make here to like try to go offensively? You set up in a 3-5-2 generally, right? 3 center backs, 2 wing backs. That's kind of a defensive formation actually, because you typically have 5 players pretty deep on the pitch, right? And that is how they set up, right? They wanted to be defensive. They wanted to have Albrighton, as Ederson gets a yellow card for time wasting, by the way. They wanted to have Albrighton and Castagna be pretty close to the defense. They weren't really overlapping because they never really had possession, right? So it's essentially playing a 5-back in this match. If you're playing a little more aggressively or like you have possession, they'll get up the field, at least one of them, right? But it's still pretty defensive because you just have a lot of people in defensive areas because there's 5 of them plus 2, typically 2 midfielders or holding mids, or at least 1 holding mid in like a box to box, like an 8, right? Something like that. De Bruyne looking for the killer pass. What a ball from Kevin De Bruyne. Raheem Sterling on the left side of the box. Cuts it back, squares it, and it is put in by Gabriel Jesus to wrap up the 3 points for Manchester City. Beautiful counter-attacking play from the Blues. That was a gorgeous ball from Kevin De Bruyne to set it all up. And it was executed at the back end by Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. Let's take a look at this once again. Nice flick from Mahrez to De Bruyne. Look at this pass. It's a great run from Jesus, but the pass is just inch perfect from De Bruyne. It looks for a second like Sterling is going to get crowded out, but he slots it back over to Jesus. Jesus has the wherewithal to know he's going to get closed down. He takes the strike first time, and he tucks it home past the helpless Castagna to wrap up all 3 points. But again, this play, while well executed by Sterling and Jesus, this is all about the ball from Kevin De Bruyne. That is just brilliant stuff from him. And Manchester City run away with it here at the King Power Stadium. 74th minute, second goal for the Blues, first for Gabriel Jesus, and they will be leaving here with all 3 points. That was good stuff. That was great, dude. Holy cow. What a ball from De Bruyne. That was sick. I thought they were going to screw it up too. Like Jesus didn't, or like I thought Jesus was just taken on. He early squared it to Sterling, which wasn't that bad actually, because Sterling was pretty open on the left. But Sterling was on his left foot and he took like kind of a touch, and you were like, ooh, that doesn't look great. But they made it happen. They got it back to Jesus, and it's good for me because I need Jesus to score. He's on my fantasy team, and the guy I'm playing this week, my roommate, has picked up Benjamin Mendy. So he's going to be getting a lot of points from Mendy if they get a shutout here. I'll finish my point, though. So, with those 2 outside backs that you want to be in defensive areas, with the 2 holding mids, you have a lot of people in defensive areas trying to be solid, right? And so when you go down a goal, you want to chase the game. How do you go about changing your shape? What do good managers do to change how you approach playing the game after 60 minutes of this? Free kick from City here is clipped in by Mahrez. Flicked header by Ndidi. Ball was still bouncing around, finally collected by Schmeichel. And the way you think about that is you have a couple options, right? You could stick in a 3, but really push your wing backs very high, right? And like try to be aggressive and have your holders hold, right? And just accept that you're going to lose out on wide spaces. Or you could adjust your formation, go to something you're comfortable with, right? Typically something like a 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-3-3 if you wanted to do that. Even 4-4-2 if you wanted to do crossing. But you got to think about the ways that you can get more aggressive. And the ways you generally get more aggressive is by having more players in attacking areas of the pitch. So how do you do that? You switch from a defensive shape in a 3-5-2. You go to 4 at the back. So now instead of 5, you have 4. You get 1 extra guy further up the field. You can still have a solid base with 2 holders, or you can send a holder higher, and you get an attacking player on the pitch. So that's generally like where the thought process comes from. And then you think, okay, with Leicester's personnel, how do they do that? Well, who comes off? Okay, Ricardo Pereira is a very good attacking right back. Right? He's on the bench. He didn't start the game. So you think, okay, Albrighton's been okay. He was obviously picked to be like an outlet and a good crosser for set pieces in a defensive formation. He seems like a likely candidate to be substituted for this, right? For a more attacking player. Like Albrighton helps in attack, but he's more a crosser. When it's better when he's in possession or when you're looking for set pieces. If you're looking for possession and attack, he's probably a good candidate. Castagna's probably a better option in attack than he is. City have taken it away here. Oh, De Bruyne, what a ball for Mahrez. Oh, and Mahrez goes just wide with the chance to make it 3, to wrap it up in style. De Bruyne, it was a turnover. It was a nasty situation as Evans gets caught out here by Gabriel Jesus. But man, oh man, De Bruyne can pick a pass again, just perfectly weighted, slotted through, and Mahrez just can't get enough wrap on his foot to tuck that one away in the back corner. Oof, that's actually not a very good finish from Mahrez. It's further away than I thought it was. So you think about that. So you think the first change obviously is Albrighton, right, for Ricardo Pereira. And I thought that one was the easier one. The harder one was like, which attacking player then do you sub for Maddison, right? Because you want to get him in, as Riyad Mahrez now is substituted for Ferran Torres for Manchester City on the 79th minute. And so that one oftentimes has to do with performance. But the reason that it became Iheanacho is if you're going to switch to a 4-back, which is what I expected with Pereira coming in, right? If you want to go more attacking, you're probably not going to play Iheanacho because you don't want to play him on the wing, right? He's not going to be comfortable there. You don't really want to play Vardy on the wing either. You could, but they're not really comfortable there. So of the two, who's more likely to get sacrificed? I mean, obviously Iheanacho if you're chasing a goal, right? Vardy is just like the talisman of this team. So that's sort of where the logic comes from. I don't even think Iheanacho was terrible today. Like, he had very little to work with, which was sort of the game plan. But when you try to think about the flexibility, like Perez started in the 10, he can flex wide. He's played wide all season, right? If Maddison's coming in, that makes more logical sense. So that's sort of where the train of logic comes from. So it's not the hardest, like I said, it's not the hardest thing. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle already put into place for you. You just got to kind of slot the last ones in. Free kick to Leicester City, trailing by 2, 11 minutes remaining in regulation, likely 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time to come. Here is Tielemans clipping this one straight into the box. Evans gets his head on it, but Ederson in the right spot, waiting for that knockdown. He picks it up and will be looking to clear it away. Can't take too long, of course. He already has been booked for time wasting, so can't dilly-dally around for too long in the face of the referee. The Arsenal-Liverpool lineups are ready. You're going to have to check those right after the game is over. Now here's Diaz. He'll chip this one out, clear it away. Header comes down from Castagna. Arrives at the feet of Tielemans, who's just bullied off the ball by De Bruyne. Another brilliant performance by De Bruyne. And again, just a struggle of a first half for City as they just had to try to grit and grind their way through this very defensive setup from Leicester City. They found the breakthroughs through an unlikely source in Benjamin Mendy, but since then, and even since the first 5 minutes of the second half, you have seen the openings. You have seen them starting to wear down Leicester City, and it has been brought home, really. It has been made to count. They have those 2 goals. They likely should have 3. Mahrez missing a pretty good chance about 3 or 4 minutes ago. And City, out of what seems to be nothing, are just going to do what they usually do. Find a way to break you down. Find a way to win the game. So much talent. So many options at Pep Guardiola's disposal, and so many intelligent soccer minds on the coaching staff of this side. It's just so hard to keep them down. Fofana. Maddison. I haven't seen a lot of Maddison, and his first interaction is to be just absolutely decked by Fernandinho, who gets a yellow card for his troubles. Maddison is very, very upset. Probably rightfully so. This is just like so unnecessary from Fernandinho. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's saying to him, but yeah, I mean, Fernandinho's looking for a yellow card there. He gets himself booked. Just for in all honesty, it just looks like he's having a go there at Maddison, if I'm being honest. I don't know if there's history between those two or anything, but that's pretty much what that was. Nice turn here from Maddison in midfield. Finds Perez. Perez gets it back to him. Difficult task of trying to clip it around Laporte. Can't quite get it done. Vardy almost reads the back pass, but it does get to Ederson. He clears it away. Leicester City now in possession. 8 minutes remaining as the clock ticks away from them. And what will be it was a valiant effort from Leicester City. They put up a very good fight in the first half as Vardy now running forward, courtesy of Ndidi. Ball bouncing around, comes back to Maddison, has some space, but the strike is pretty disappointing by Maddison's standards, nowhere near the goal. Yeah, you can see the look on his face. He's not really thrilled with himself at the moment. Not a lot of conviction in that curled strike towards the right-hand corner. But it was a good effort in the first half by Leicester City. They stuck to the game plan. They did what they needed to do. It just could not quite hold on against Manchester City. And will slump to defeat here. Again, remaining in a very hotly contested top 4 race that will have further implications in our match to follow this one. Arsenal against Liverpool. Arsenal are sort of on the outskirts of the conversation. I don't really think they are, because I think they're A, too far away on points, and B, just not that good of a team to really contest those top 4 spots. But Liverpool very much in the conversation. Of course, it would be disastrous for a team that has just been on the top of every competition for the last year and a half, basically, to slump out of the Champions League this year. I know they've been racked with injuries, but even then, you should still be looking to make and expecting to make Champions League, as Liverpool would be a really, really bad thing for them to not be a part of that competition next year, particularly with how well they're doing in it this year. Still in the competition, slated for a quarterfinal matchup this week. Starting on Tuesday, we have Champions League back once again for those knockout stage quarterfinals. Ball in behind, looking for Mendy. That one intercepted by Ricardo Pereira. Sliding challenge by Fernandinho will break up the attack for Leicester City. Now it's Man City trying to come forward as De Bruyne is upended. Oh, Maddison just harshly tackled again by Kyle Walker. He has gotten some rough treatment since his introduction. English teammates there, of course, Walker and Maddison. Yeah, ouch, just gets stepped on. Late to that challenge is Walker. Didn't look to be any true intent, just thought that he could get to that ball, but wasn't really ever that close to it. Happens to defenders from time to time, guys. I can attest to that. You see, like, there's a lot of attacking players out there where you like, they'll take like what looks like a big touch. Because you after so many games, right, where you just like play defense, you can sort of tell like when a player takes a big touch. Hold on, here's Vardy. Has some options. Gets the ball out to the left-hand side. Cross to the back post. Settle down. It's Maddison, but he scuffs his strike and it goes straight into the waiting arms of Ederson. That was a huge opportunity for Leicester City to open their account. Beautiful turn from Perez and a nice play overall. The cross here from Castagna, perfectly weighted. Clever layoff from Pereira. And yeah, Maddison, just the weak link at the end of a very strong chain on that move for Leicester City. Their best chance of the match, I would say, to get a goal is not taken by one of their talismans. Now Ederson looking long. Yeah, I guess to finish the point, like, we are a defender. You kind of get used to, like, in particular, sort of average players against you, average attacking players. You get very used to, like, what's a big touch from them. Like, you can kind of see them react. Like, they'll kind of, like, take the touch and they'll kind of, like, oh, you know, they'll, like, kind of, like, make, like, a forward move at it, like, oh, shit, I just screwed up. Like, they can tell, and they sort of give you that away. And you can just kind of gauge the distance. But there are players, you know, Maddison is likely one of them. Jack Grealish, you know, players of that ilk, of that talent, of that nature, that will take big touches. They'll look like big touches. So a defender's eyes will light up like, oh, I'm winning this tackle. And once defenders like commit to a tackle, they're pretty committed to tackles. Is kind of how it works. Because if you go in like soft and get like cut, you're just kind of out of the play. It's worth it for you to go into the tackle. And worst happens, you get there late, you foul them, right? Like, that could be bad for a yellow card, but it's worse to get beaten as a defender and then just have space open up. So it both behooves defenders to go in hard, and also we're defenders. Like, defenders like to tackle. Let's be real. But a player like Maddison will sometimes like take a touch like that, and you'll, as a defender, your eyes will light up. You'll think, I got this. But the reality is that they're so good at close control, and they're so like What was that from De Bruyne? Come on, dude. You don't need to do that. It was kind of a swing there from Amarty, but I mean, he didn't get touched. This is pointless. Who cares? I'm not even going to entertain what's happening with De Bruyne going to ground, trying to like get Amarty a red card. This is stupid. So, you know, those kind of players will sometimes take touches, but they're so in control. They're such good dribblers. They're so in control of the ball that touch that looks bad to you, it's just not. They're in full control. They're gonna get there before you. They're just gonna throw their body in the way. You think you can win it, and you almost never can. So it's hard to gauge for a defender because they are sort of the exception to what is a general rule, because they're so good, they're so talented, they have such good close control. You think you're winning it from them, but you never really are. And it kind of takes like, sometimes you forget about it. Like when you first meet the player, sometimes it takes like a game or two of playing them to like get used to the fact like that's not a winnable, you know, that what I'm used to is not like a winnable challenge. I have to look for something else. Or just be like, I'm probably not winning the ball off this guy from a tackle. It takes a little getting used to, I think. And you often, because you don't play them all the time or whatnot, you often just forget that like, yeah, I can't really get to that one. It's probably a little different for like quality defenders because I'm like a D3 crapper, you know, like I never really had a real career and I'm not the most like athletic person ever, not the quickest of foot probably, but that's sort of how like I've always looked at it. There's like a couple players in our like soccer league, like our soccer intramural league. It's like some pretty good players, like XD1, couple X pros, whatnot. Like there's good players in the league, and there's a couple guys in the league I just know like, yeah, I'm not taking the ball off these guys. Like even if they take a bad touch, it's not a bad touch. They're just baiting me. Like I don't even bother. Madison, good ball into the feet of Perez. I think it was actually intended for Jamie Vardy, but it's worked out for Leicester, and Tielemans has just been bundled over by Rodri. A slew of yellow cards being thrown out here for Manchester City at the end of this match. Got one for Fernandinho, one to Kyle Walker, now one for Rodri. That's, yeah, certainly a yellow card. Foul there on the break a bit. Our Leicester City in a good position. Rodri just sort of bundles over Tielemans and appropriately receives his booking. Ederson's even in the book for time wasting. So slew of yellows here at the end of the match. There is 30 seconds remaining in regulation, likely 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time based on substitutions. We haven't had a whole lot of stoppages in the half, I would say. Maybe we get 4 for that sort of last interaction between like Amartey, De Bruyne, and then like him complaining to the referee, but likely no more than 4. Here's Madison, going to clip this one in, trying to take Manchester City by surprise. That unfortunately will not work out for Leicester City. Clearance will come through, should roll out for a throw-in, and we will see the stoppage time there. Will be 3 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of the match. 3 more minutes for Leicester to try to get something, but again, such a tall task to even get 1 in this game against Manchester City, let alone the 2 needed to equalize the match. Offside called against, I believe that is Fofana. And we'll just trudge back to his position at center back. City will kill them. Essentially the whole first minute of this stoppage time period, as they will extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table, moving on to, I believe, 74 points today. Yes, that will be the total for them with just 7 matches remaining. I don't know, again, if this secures the title for them. Let's see. I can try to calculate it really quick here. As a foul is called here against Ricardo Pereira, where Sterling drew that one. So Man U hasn't played. Man U has 2 games left. So let's assume Man U wins both their games. 6 points on 31. They are on 63. That's 11 with 7 matches. That's still overturnable. A couple matches yet still. Leicester now working out of the corner they were in, but it is taken away by Laporte. Jesus down the line where Sterling tries a clever dummy to try to run around Amartey, but Amartey is not fooled. He will knock it out for a throw-in. Leicester essentially all out of time, though. Just a minute remaining in stoppage time, and Pep Guardiola all smiles on the sideline. His team has found a way again in the second half to find their chances, get their goals, and just more brilliant stuff from Kevin De Bruyne. What a player he is. So many inch-perfect passes to really stretch what was a very organized and prepared Leicester City defense today. They do find a way. They continue to knock on the door, and Man City will not be stopped as they continue to march towards this Premier League title. What will be Sergio Aguero's 5th with the club in his final season. Sterling now bundled over once again by Pereira. Gives a dismissive look to the referee, but I think everyone just waiting here for the final whistle. 20 seconds remain. We'll see if we even get the full 20 seconds from the referee. It's Mendy here, the hero really for Manchester City, scoring that critical opening goal that forced Leicester City to open up with his weaker foot. He plays a terrible ball in behind. Sterling and him not on the same page, but it will not matter. Schmeichel will punt this one away. Header comes the other way, and the referee will bring this one to a close. Manchester City run out of the King Power Stadium. 2-0 winners here over Brendan Rodgers' side. They will move to 74 points at the top of the table, and it won't be long now before you see them crowned champions-elect of the Premier League. Another excellent performance from the Sky Blues, and another win for Manchester City. Thank you again for tuning in. I will be writing a match report later today. It will be on my Twitter. It will be on my blog. So if you want to check it out, you can look there. That is where I give my reports these days. But with that, we are done with the match. Don't forget, there is another Premier League match today. Arsenal and Liverpool will be starting in just 38 minutes here. That should be an exciting match, again, with top 4 implications. Leicester City on 56, Liverpool on 47, 46 going into the match. 46. So there you go. 10-point gap with a game in hand for Liverpool. Could be 7 at the end of today. So tune into that one. Should be an exciting match. But that will do it here for me today. Hope you all have enjoyed the stream, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.